The LTFRB has come out with its own report regarding the COA's findings on the service contracting program posted on its website.
The LTFRB reports that as of June 30, 2021, it has released around 1.5 billion pesos to beneficiary drivers as well as to funding the systems manager responsible for the development and management of the Service Contracting Program, or SCP. The SCP was implemented to help public transportation operators and drivers overcome the effects of the pandemic by giving them cash incentives or subsidies to continue operating even with reduced capacity to comply with social distancing protocols. The LTFRB came out with a press statement on the progress of the SCP following news about a Commission on Audit or COA report that said the agency only utilized 1% of the allocated 5.56 billion peso allocation for the program. The LTFRB pointed out that the COA report only covered data up to December 2020. It said that funds for the SCP were only downloaded to the LTFRB in November 2020, just a month before a memorandum of agreement related to the program was signed between LTFRB and Land Bank of the Philippines. The LTFRB-LBP agreement details how the SCP cash subsidies would be distributed to eligible beneficiaries of different modes of public land transportation. It added that before funds are distributed to eligible drivers and transport operators, they are required to complete the orientation and to submit all necessary documents. The LTFRB reported that initial payouts of 4,000 pesos were provided to 23,410 drivers. One-time onboarding incentives of 25,000 pesos were provided to 8,461 drivers. One-time onboarding incentives of 20,000 pesos were provided to 702 drivers, and 18,864 drivers received their weekly payout. The LTFRB says it is now closely coordinating with the Department of Budget and Management for the release of funds amounting to 3.3 billion pesos for the SCP.
The LTFRB's report on the SCP's progress shows drivers and operators are benefiting from the subsidies. With the way the COVID-19 pandemic continues to affect communities and public transportation, drivers and operators need subsidies in order to provide adequate and safe public transport amid the pandemic.